Hello. This is something I've not really done before, but welcome. I've got a couple candles set up for you guys to get nice and comfortable. Glass of wine from me. And we're just going to try and have a quick chat about what we're expecting or what I'm expecting. I don't know why I keep saying we. I'm not talking to you really. It's an illusion. What I expect the meta to be going into the SPL, which starts on Friday. At the moment, it's Wednesday evening, the 22nd of July. It's 11 o'clock at night. Just getting comfortable, easing down before I need to go to bed. And I've been thinking about recording this for a few days, and I just felt like it might be a fun thing to do, maybe interesting for some people on what I expect the meta to kind of be and what the meta shifts that I think we'll see are. And then I guess you guys can compare them to how things actually go on Friday and laugh at me for being horribly wrong, as these predictions normally are. But yeah, I thought I'd go through roll by roll and just talk about kind of why what I expect to change and why it'll be changing, and hopefully give people a little bit of further understanding before watching the games this weekend. I like to think I still have a good idea of what's going on, but maybe I'm totally out of touch. Let's see. So yeah, we'll just start off. I always ordered. So this is a fun thing, I guess. Not fun, but this is a thing. In Spectre, you always order the players like solo, jungle, mid, support, ADC. For some reason, I've decided to go bottom up, but we're going in that order, but from ADC to solo. So we're going to start with the ADC role, which I think a lot of people are going to know what to expect in the ADC role, and that is Ring of Hecate. It is the most broken item that's been in Smite in a long time. It's surprising that it made it in. I think not enough people tested it in PTS, and Hi-Rez I don't think got feedback on it because I didn't see any pro players or anything giving feedback that was busted. And then we got into live client, and I think everybody just realized this item is ridiculous, ridiculous. It's getting nerfed in the bonus balance patch, which I believe is next week. But for now, it's going to be super strong, and what that's going to do is that's going to really adjust the ADC picks that I think we're likely to see. So I think we will see a lot of Freya and a lot of Olorun. I think Freya's been really, at least in EU ranked, Freya's been the much more picked character, but I actually think Olorun is probably the better character for competitive Smite. That ult is just incredible for team fighting. But I think both Freya and Olorun, I think we'll see as fairly high priority. We might see the Jingwei as a counter pick to the Freya. I'm not really sure what you could really pick as a counter pick for Olorun. Maybe Rama would do okay, still able to get his damage off onto him when he uses his ult, but nobody really has a great matchup into him. And the bigger issue with Olorun is junglers don't have a good matchup into him. The one that you would normally go for would be, I guess we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but you'd maybe go Daji. But with Nemean being in the game, that really cripples Daji's ability to do quick burst damage with her one and with her autos and with Hydras. So I think yeah, we'll see a lot of Freya, a lot of Olorun. I think we might see some Chronos. If there were really good Chronos players in the SPL, I think we would see them. If there was an MLE2, for example, I think we'd definitely see that character picked up, but I'm not sure how good most of the SPL ADCs really are at Chronos. There's no one I have there as like a Chronos main. So we'll see if he gets picked up. Sol as well, another one who can utilize Ringer for Kate. I think we will see a bit of Sol. Probably Barra might whip her out. He's a bit of a Sol player, always has been. Him and Nate were classically the two Sol players for me. So we might see that. I think as well we'll see a bit more 1v1 in lane. I'll get onto this a bit later, but because of the nature of the jungle at the moment and because of the nature of some of the camps, I don't think we'll see the supports in duo lane for as long. So I think we'll maybe see a bit of a 1v1 meta in the duo lane, a few solo kills maybe if we see, for example, Freya. She's really oppressive in lane, really hard to lane against without getting in danger. Once she gets her Ring of Hecate online, once she gets her Hasten Ring online, she's really hard to lane against and survive for like basically anyone except Jing. And even Jing kind of struggles. The other big change, I guess, for hunters is I think I'm going to touch on this more at the end, but you're not going to be soloing objectives as a hunter anymore. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, that's going to be the hunter role, and I guess next up would be support. And this is going to be a little bit of why I feel like things might switch up a bit in dual lane, is that supports probably aren't going to be spending too much time in the lane. They certainly, I don't think, will be there for the first wave. I think we might see some spicy starts because it's a new meta and people always innovate and they find new things, new invades, pressuring enemy purple, stuff like that. But I think a pretty standard start we might see is the support and the ADC doing purple, the support roaming to backs, and then going to red and doing the red with the mid laner. The red is it's kind of a point for both support and mid, but you can't solo the red as a mid laner because of the berserk. I think that's what it's called on the red buff. I think at 40% HP. I should really have notes up or something. I don't. I have notes. I have the notes up for the fury changes, but nothing else. I think it's at 40% or something. The red buff berserks and starts doing way more damage, and it just if you solo it as a mage or even as a hunter mid, you will probably get down below 50% HP, maybe even below 40% on a mage. So it's tough, especially when you don't have so many pots these days, and you want to be staying out for at least 900 gold to get your boots 2 back in. It's just tough to solo it, I think. Um, So yeah, the other switch up I think we'll see in support is I think we will see a little bit more of physical supports than we did before. I guess before it was it only Herc and Horus who were really in the meta as physical supports. I think we'll see a bit more with a bit more jungling going on. I think you could see some more physical characters, and with Sledge being in the game, I think Sledge is a great um, tank item for physical supports. The other thing I think we might see in the support role, I guess, is a bit of a Gaia. Um, what's the word? I was going to say reconnaissance, but I'm not sure that's the word I'm looking for. But I think we'll see Gaia come back a little bit more. We might see some Gaia first item builds. I think maybe Genetics did something like that on Kepri in SPL earlier in the season. But I think we're much more likely to see some early Gaias at the moment, maybe instead of Thebes, and we'll see how the game goes from there. And the other thing that's been going on, I think this has been more prevalent in EU than in NA. I'm not certain on this, but some supports have been building Assassin's Blessing in ranked since it got the increased health on it. I still think we'll see mostly Guardian's Blessing. I think we'll maybe see one or two supports who pick up Assassin's Blessing in like maybe one game, and everybody else I think will go for Guardians. I think it depends on the player. And I'm interested to see if anybody goes down that route. But I don't think it's too much better. I think you need a strategy for it. Um, I think there are reasons to do it, but I think you can also punish it as the opposing team. So yeah, that's going to be it for support, and we'll move on to mid. Mid's interesting, I think, because it doesn't feel like too much changed in mid. It doesn't feel like too many of the changes were geared at mid, right? Mid was kind of the same characters as before. None of them really got changed too much. Spear of the Magus got added in, which I think we will see built. I don't think it's busted. I think it's actually getting over nerfed in the balance patch coming up, which is disappointing. I think it's at the moment it's 10-second cooldown and 10-second duration, basically, and I think they're changing it to 7-second duration and 15-second cooldown, which I think will damage the item pretty badly. But anyway, I think it's a good item for mages. I don't think it's a good item for supports. I think some people do. I don't really agree. Um, but we'll see Magus get picked up in mid, I think, by the mages that are played there. We might see some Olaran and Sol there, like we said we might in the dual lane. Again, Hecate Abuse is going to be the meta when it comes to carries. The other thing I think we might see in mid, if we see, say, for example, there's a Sol or a Kronos or a Freya in the dual lane, I think we're quite likely to see an ability-based hunter in mid to get that fizz damage in. I think they suit mid a bit more than they do ADC. They're not very good in 1v1s, but they're really great in team fights. And I think you might see some Chiron, you might see some Neath, could see some Ullr still. I think we're quite likely to see mid hunters actually. We might even see some other classes in mid. Big man things likes to whip out the Chak and things like that. So maybe we'll see a warrior come out in mid, but I don't know. And the other thing for mids is you won't see any of them soloing their first red, I don't think, anyway. Unless they have a hog. Maybe with a hog you can do it still. I'm not certain. But I feel like we'll see starts more often than not where the mid laners share the red buff with a support. Or maybe even with their jungler. if the support chooses to do something on the other side of the map, like pressuring the purple or looking for an early kill in Joe or something. I'm not sure. It'll be interesting. I think that is something else we could see, by the way, is supports pretending they're going to red or backs and red with their mid laner, but instead they're just waiting in Joe, maybe get a blink in behind the enemy ADC player and look for a 2v1 kill in that lane if the enemy support is really going to the backs in red. But that's getting a bit too far into it. Suffice to say, I think it's going to be pretty impactful on the early game where the supports choose to go. Jungle, Golden Blade, Golden Blade, Golden Blade, Golden Blade, Golden Blade, Golden Blade. I think we will see Golden Blade in the jungle a lot. I think there is one jungle character as well who abuses Ring of Kate pretty well, and that's Ao Quang. So we might see him. I think he's really high priority in ranked, like first pick worthy. I don't know if he's first pick worthy in comp for me. I think if you pick Ao Quang and, for example, the enemy team picks up a Nemesis, I think you're going to struggle. I think Nem's a character who we will see. I think Baka's a character who we will see. Ratatosker, slightly overrated, I think. I think he's good for sure. But I think a lot of people think that he's going to be picked up with crit and be headbutting people to death. I just don't believe that will happen. I don't see it at all. I think if you pick up Rat, you're picking the stun acorn, the one which gives you 5 acorns coming out for your 3. I don't know the names of the acorns. I'm not a Rat player, I'm afraid. I've not even played him since the change, I don't think. But for me, I think if we see Rat, it'll be that stun acorn. And I don't think he'll be super high priority. I think that we'd probably more likely to see something like a Nemesis or a Bakasura above him. I wonder if we'll see any Arachne. I don't know if there's any big Arachne players in the SPL now. Obviously, Weekend was, but he's not there anymore. It'll be cool to see. I know that Lasper's been grinding a lot in ranked. He's been looking really good on the AA Assassins, so looking forward to watching him in particular. The other thing that's changed in the jungle is shrine efficiency. Okay, so shrine is just worth a lot of gold at the moment. It's worth a lot of gold. It's 70 gold when it's full, right? 70 gold per player, 350 gold for hanging the shrine one time. 350 global gold. That's a lot. And that's going to be really important. I think that makes Gold Furies worth a lot less. Almost like the time that you spend getting a Gold Fury. If you lose 3 camps off that, the XP and gold is barely even a swing in your favor anymore, if at all. And if you have to back afterwards, and maybe you miss a few minions on the wave, it just makes gold so much less worthwhile to do. And it makes the jungle pathing really important for junglers and even for supports and mids to make sure that somebody is hitting that shrine at the right time. It's kind of funny. I always made fun of the shrine efficiency thing, right? And I think Hi-Res listened to me making fun of it, and they've made it the most important thing. Now shrine efficiency is going to be a massive gold swing. But I'm happy to see it. I think it's interesting, at least. I think it maybe will get toned down in the future. I think it might be a bit too much. But it's fine for now. It's an interesting new change, and I'm happy to see the gold on the map. I guess after jungle, we move to solo. Solo is a lane where I feel like people are maybe expecting more change than there will be in some ways. So I think that Guardians have always been viable and so on. We will still see Guardians, and I think Warriors were viable with Gladiator Shield, and they will be viable in SPL now as well. I think, for example, King Arthur going into Son of Gaia, he's still got a lot of abilities. He relied on his base damage, really. And with a Gaia and a Health Chalice, it's not like he lacks sustain. He'll still be very, very strong. I think other warriors will still be picked. I think that we'll see a good amount of Cthulhu in solo. I also think we'll see him in support. He might get picked up in support by some players. It'll be interesting to see how teams choose to split that, whether they want to go Cthulhu solo, Cthulhu support. I don't know if he's top pick. I don't know if he'll be banned or first picked, or if he'll be a little bit lower than that. Be interesting to see. I think we might also see some sustained characters in solo. Some characters might do better there now that there's no longer Glad Shield to help other people through the meta. Characters like maybe, I don't know, Guan, for example, he has sustain in his kit. Hades, maybe. A Changa. I think we might see some sustained characters in there. I think that Amma, in particular, Amma is going to be a really strong pick in solo with the sustain in her kit, with the MS. Doesn't have to go TP, really. Didn't rely on Glads or Berserkers before and was already a great pick. And Nike is another one who I don't think a lot's changed for really. There's good health items in the pool for at the moment. There's Sledge for all these warriors is going to be a great pickup. Vamana is another one who didn't really rely on Berserkers or Glads and was already picked up and will be doing the same thing. So I think we might see characters like Amma and Vamana who just farm the lane and look to rotate out, maybe steal away back camps, stuff like that. Don't really care about you hitting them. I think we might see that quite a lot in solo. I don't think we'll see too much man fighting, and I'm I don't know if I'm confident in saying this, but I don't think we'll see a lot of solo killing in a solo lane. Might see Serb as well. Serb, I think, is come into this man and as an okay character. Um, so yeah, I guess to wrap things up, I'm going to talk a little bit about the map changes, the Gold Fury changes in particular. As I mentioned, I kind of touched on it, but I want to go a little bit deeper into it. The way the Gold Furies have been changed, I have notes up for this actually. I had to go and look at them because I forgot which of them is. So I guess I'll just go through them quickly. Gold Fury, the normal gold, 5% slow per stack when you're hitting it, up to 6 times, which is a lot. And plus 20 gold bounty when killed per stack. So the person who's getting hit by gold, if they have full stacks, they're worth an extra 120 gold to whoever kills them. And they're also slowed 30%, which is a lot. So it makes Gold Furies riskier, normal Gold Furies. It's riskier. It's not harder to do a normal Gold Fury, really. Um, Oni Fury, 5% increased damage taken from all sources per stack. So you're taking 30% increased damage from anything that hits you if you're tanking gold. So again, it makes it just so much more dangerous and makes it really hard um, for like a hunter to solo a gold fury. It makes it really difficult, even if you go full Devos Xe. Well, you wouldn't really go Xe, full Devos Atlantis, for example. Um, you're going to struggle. Primal Fury has 5% reduced damage to upper stack. So again, if the person who's the main source of damage is tanking that Fury, it's going to be even worse. It's going to be 30% reduced damage on your main source of damage for it. So you obviously want to have someone else there tanking it for you. So I think that makes a big difference on the way the map will be played. I think that it's not important to play around the Joe side of the map as much as it used to be when Gold Fury's up. We're not going to see them rush down as often. I doubt we're going to see as much emphasis placed on Gold Fury contention as well. I think you can let it go and invade stuff, especially with the Shrine being worth so much more. Stealing camps and getting your own camps is worth a lot. So I think we'll see a step away from worrying so much about gold. Whether that'll transition to more pressure on the solo side of the map, people not caring about oracles, I'm not sure. We'll have to see on that one. I don't think the Pyromancer change was very impactful at all. It doesn't feel impactful to me anyway. I think Pyro will be the same. It's not worth as much as gold, obviously. It does like it's one for all you ranked players to learn. Pyro doesn't really give you that much. I think a lot of people are under the impression it's a big objective. It's not. It's not worth missing farm for most of the time. So I guess some people need to listen to that and get that into their heads, ranked teammates. But yeah, it feels basically the same to me. It's still easy enough to do. It's not a big deal. You have to interrupt the new skill, but it doesn't really matter if you don't. Yeah, is that all I wanted to talk about? Not sure. I had some very Spartan uh, notes, like just in a notepad document, like 3 bullet points per role. That was basically it. I'm just interested to see the changes come through. Though I'm excited to see the new meta. I'm looking forward. I think that Hecate and Golden Blade are problems for sure. I think they're going to dictate the meta pretty hard this weekend of SPL. They are going to get nerfed and things are going to change for next week. But for now, this is the meta we're in. And it's only 1 week, so it'll be interesting to see who can abuse those items the most. And whether maybe I'm mistaken, maybe a team that's playing sort of like Rama ADC will be winning every game with like a traditional mage in mid. It's going to be cool either way. So I'll be streaming SPL Friday, Saturday, Sunday, as usual. Hope to see you guys there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I wasn't too rambly. I hope it gave you guys some insight that you didn't otherwise have. And if you, I don't know, if you want me to make any other content like this, let me know in the comments down below. I'm a YouTuber. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys enjoy the SPL this weekend. I look forward to watching it with you. Peace out.